I am so pleased to have these two accomplished musicians with me, Hannah Elkine and Joe Scott. And they collectively are Acoustic Eidolon. Yes. Where did that name come from? And we should say that you're husband and wife, and we'll get to that story in just a moment.
We are now, yes.
Right. The name, Acoustic
The name
Eidolon.
we found in our dictionary. We were looking for, in the early part of the dictionary, for just something that inspired us for a name, and we found this word Eidolon, which has Greek roots. It means ideal or visual image. And we thought, well, that should work. We liked the rhythm of the word. We didn't think about how difficult it was to spell or say or
right, exactly.
anything marketing-wise.
And I should say, the two of you are married, and it's an interesting story that you lived right down the street from each other,
yes.
but didn't know each other until a gig came together.
That's
exactly.
right.
Can you give me the short story to that?
Yeah, well, I had a recording studio in our little town, and I was producing a record. She was the
This is
cellist.
out in Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado.
They hired me.
They hired her. They were giving her directions to my recording studio.
And I thought,
lived
what
out in the
on earth?
country. And so it turns out we were neighbors, but didn't know each other.
So what'd you do, just back out of your driveway?
I
and go
actually
three
walked
houses
to his
down?
house, which is part of our story, because when he came over to play the guitar with me the first time, he drove to my house.
Right.
But it's because it was snowing.
That's right.
So that you married in 2001?
We did.
Okay. And 3 children between you guys.
Right.
So let's talk about the guit-jo, which
Right.
is what this is.
That's
I've
right.
never heard of that. Explain
Right.
what this is.
Well, this is an instrument that I designed and then had custom built in Colorado. I grew up playing bluegrass banjo, 5-string banjo, so I had the builder string it like a banjo with 2 more melody strings, and the upper neck is strung like a traditional guitar but with an extra bass note. And then I developed this technique where I play both necks at the same time.
Give me just a little of that.
Sure, where I play melody notes with my right hand, and then bass notes and chords with my left hand.
So you have a guitar and a banjo together.
Basically, that's hence the name guit-jo, guitar or banjo. And again, it's just a hybrid. It's just my own design and tuning and technique.
You're the only guy in the world that does this.
This particular thing, yeah. You'll see other double necks, but not strung, tuned, or played.
So they're
like this.
copycats, but they're not
That's
you.
right. I'm the original.
All right. Your instrument, I want to talk about it too. It has a very special meaning.
It
The
does.
cello.
It really does. The wood that was in this instrument is from a tree that built my original cello with this builder, Christopher Dungy, and then that cello was in an airline accident, and he rebuilt it with a piece from the same tree. And by the time this piece of the tree came around 2 years ago, he called me up out of the blue and he just said, "You seem to have this relationship with this tree, so I'm letting you know I have another piece." And so we decided to have a cello, and actually there was enough wood to build a guitar, so it's a matched set of instruments.
Give me some sound, a range of sound on the cello.
So it's low to high, just gorgeous. And then it can be played in all sorts of percussive ways. And you can even do the, Joe's favorite is the electric guitar.
So you're pretty much all kinds of music.
We are, yeah.
Far and away from bluegrass.
Yeah, we have one bluegrass tune, but we Celtic, flamenco. We do Little Queen, Beatles, half originals, half covers.
Everything's up here, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
I want to show the folks a little bit of what this sounds like together. Roll it, Lou. We'll be stopping down. Pause. It's coming. We'll all edit this together.
Yeah. The beauty of it.
Yeah. Roll it, Lou, and...
1 second.
Oh, yeah, we're waiting.
Takes a village, doesn't it?
Oh,
Around
you
this
have
place.
no idea. Can we hear it in here too, please? The little thing that you did at the end.
Yes.
With the guit-jo.
Yes.
That allows it to, the sound do what?
To vibrate, or to wobble, what do you call it? Almost like a vibrato in the voice, you know.
The songs that you're doing together, how do we describe your music?
It's every style. It's like this mash. We get told we're just a passionate musical mash of styles. So somebody coming to the concert that goes, well, I don't really like classical. We don't play anything classical, even though I was classically trained. It just gives me chops to be able to play all these styles.
Flamenco,
yeah,
Celtic,
flamenco,
blues,
Do you ever
Americana.
have discussions about, no, we're not doing that, and you say, oh, yes, we are, or you say, no, we're not?
Once in a while. He's a fan of medleys, and I'm not. That's one of our...
Really?
Please, yeah, yeah.
Favorite song that you have put together of all time? Is it Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Is it, what is it?
Actually,
that is one of our favorites.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow is one of our favorites. My current favorite is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. We're doing on 10 strings what Queen had a full band to do Bohemian Rhapsody. We do the whole thing, start to finish.
In their key.
In their key. Not singing, instrumentally.
Can you do a little bit of Somewhere Over the Rainbow? We didn't rehearse this, but do you know it?
It's a different,
Absolutely.
I'd have to retune.
He could just retune, but if we have time...
Oh, it would take a second.
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
what could you give me a little bit of that you like together?
Let's do a little bit of, sorry, we'll do a little bit of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It might be a tad out of tune, but we don't
I'll
care.
never know. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So you just go there, right?
Yeah.
The type of music that you play, I never understand how musicians can keep all this in their head.
Yeah.
Is most of it in your head? Is it in front of you on the floor? How do you play?
It's all in our for us, it's all in our head.
But
Yeah.
it's a combination. You know how you hear melodies in your head that you can just sing because you know the melody. So there's that aspect of it. And then there's whatever key it's in. And then it's also muscle memory in our hands and our fingers. And so there's certain shapes or patterns that we know to bring in. And that combination, it's like a full body experience to memorize a piece of music. And then once it's in you, it's just in you, you know? It's like a skill.
And after, if it's
It is
here,
a
like,
passion.
everybody knows what Somewhere the Rainbow sounds like. So if it's here, if you know it in your head and you know where to get it on your instrument, it should come out okay.
You can
But after
sing it, you
years
can
of
play.
practice.
Yeah, which is your job, right?
That's right, that's our job.
How did music come into your life?
At 12, I started guitar. Have an older brother and my dad both played a little guitar. I'm the only one in the family who actually wound up being a professional for my whole life. So, yeah, I'd have to say my family. So.
Did you take to it right away?
I did. Yeah, I don't know, I had an aptitude for it. So I just was able to do whatever I wanted to do, and yep.
And Hannah, how about you? How did music enter your life?
And I had a musical family, so I started as well. So I started piano at 4, and at 8 I fell in love with the cello, and I sat my parents down after a concert and said, I have to play the cello. And
But you were so
they said,
small. Wasn't that a
know.
huge...
I was on a little half-size cello, and it was still too big for me. But I knew I loved it and would always play, but I didn't know until later in life I would do it as my living, whereas Joe knew from the beginning, I'm going to be a musician, and I thought that was amazing.
Traveling around playing, you've been inside the country, outside the country.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the remarkable events that you've had.
Gosh, we tour the U.S. and Europe annually. Some of the more amazing venues. We got to do 2 concerts in St. Paul's Cathedral in London a while back.
Oh
and
my gosh.
We got to do a concert in the deepest concert hall in the world in Germany, which is a half a mile below the ground in a salt mine where they carved out a 500-seat auditorium.
What were the acoustics like in
Oh,
there?
amazing. They were like a cathedral.
Yeah.
And you were so far down that it was actually warm, like the temperature of the air was warm, which was a little creepy, but cool. Good for me. But
you had to go down in a freight elevator with hard hat and jacket.
But it was stunning. They'd scraped the salt out to make this big cavernous.
I would have been so claustrophobic down
you would
below
think
the earth.
We were down there for about 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
I would be, but there was so much space and air and hundreds of kilometers of tunnels, and so it was like a different world, but it didn't have that claustrophobic part of it that I thought would be there.
Have you wanted to collaborate with some big stars, or do you want them to find you? Are you just happy the way you are?
We're pretty happy the way we are. We do occasional collaborate. We play with symphonies. We've had a lot of our music arranged for orchestra. And then when we tour Europe, we tour with a fabulous Celtic harpist from Berlin. And yeah, but...
Well, we play there with a fiddler who was the fiddler for Riverdance.
The original
Oh my
Riverdance,
gosh.
Moira Brennick, yeah.
And we've collaborated on shows with Tommy Emmanuel and the Kruger Brothers and Lynn Harrell and symphonies, and those are just magic. The way they infuse us with extra inspiration and music is off the charts. It's wonderful.
But never say never.
So
John
we're always
Legend
open.
calls.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
You'd be happy to...
If Sting calls, we would drop everything to go tour with Sting, sure, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you so much coming in and
thank you.
And showing us a little bit about your instruments, and we'll talk about where you're going to be seen next. But I just want to hear a song from you after we wrap this up. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Spend all night kissing and if was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked if I'm so wishing to find the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride.